Content awareness contains strong language, religious references, and recounting of experiences of forced displacement and racism.
Northern Stage and Actors Touring Company present Dear Tomorrow, Hope from Home. This letter was written by Ameera Conrad and sent to Ameet Chana for you. I am a British male of Indian descent with short, thick, black-brown hair. I have black frame glasses on and have a black, full-set beard and moustache. I am wearing a white-grey marl oversized hoodie and sitting on a see-through acrylic chair, and behind me is a white wall. To my right is a visible doorframe. I open a white envelope and take out a letter with great care and begin to read.
Dear friend, I'm sorry I haven't gotten in touch sooner. I know I promised I'd write you when we met on New Year's Eve. I put that slip of paper that you wrote your email address on into my jacket pocket and I only just found it the other day. I don't even know if you remember meeting me or not, and I know it's been a year. It's just, things have been hard and I've tried to do what I need to keep my head above water. I feel like I've been swimming underwater for months and at long last, I have come up for air. I miss air. I miss sharing Ubers home after a big night out and starting fights with creepy old men in bars. It's been hard traversing this year, but I'm so proud of how far we've all managed to come, even if we messed it up a bit along the way. I wish I knew how to tell you how happy I actually am. It feels strange to say, given that I'm thousands of kilometers away from home, in the middle of a global pandemic, freezing my ass off on this weird island that stole everything from my great-great-great-grandmother. How strange it is to say out loud that I have made myself a home on this island. The island which stole her home, forced her to unlearn her language and twist her tongue around its crude consonants when her mother tongue, dripped like honey and spun golden threads of poetry. Nothing I say or write in their voice will ever sound as beautiful to me as the words whispered in my right ear on the day I became Ameera. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Ashudu Allah ilaha il Allah. Ashudu Allah ilaha il Allah. Ashudu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah. Haya Allah Salah. Haya Alal Safalah. Allahu Akbar. La ilaha il Allah. Even now, I could taste the sweetness of the dates that the Imam placed in my mouth and see the mark on my forehead to ward off the evil eye. They feel more like home than this language ever did. But it's mine now. I've taken it. Their language, their clothing, their manners, what was forced upon my ancestors has been reclaimed by her descendants. Did she ever think that would be possible? That her great-great-great-granddaughter would be free to stand on my own feet and claim all of myself. Claim my hair, skin, face, body, faith in ways that she could not. Did she know that this was the path that would be laid out for me? Did she see it? Is that what kept her going? The knowledge that one day I would bear her name and her nose and carry both across oceans and continents to places that she didn't even know existed. So I could tell her stories in a way that she never, that her daughter's daughters, that my mother could never. I've been here for a year now, without family, without stability, with nothing but my great-great-great-grandmother's name and her nose. And people on the other side of the screen to see my Insta stories and my tweets. I've actually managed to build myself a life. I found love, found Hope. Mostly. Not all of it has been easy. You know that in a time of overwhelming fear and grief, man. So much grief. Every day, a new grief, a new name, a new body, a new hashtag, a new tweet, post, video, face on the news. Inna lillahi wa inna ilahi rajiun. So much grief. It's been hard to let light in. Some days it feels all-consuming, a thick white cloud covering the mountaintop, the devil's pipe smoke. My partner gave me some advice and I've been trying to live by it. Do what you can and nothing more. I've done what I can, and slowly, piece by piece, I have carved out a mountain-shaped space for goodness. Remember standing outside clubs waiting for an Uber back home? Those felt like the most perfect moments of coolness after the heat and sweat of the club floors. A proper break from the doof, doof, doof inside. Standing on the pavement, sweaty and warm, coming up for air. Most nights now, I stand out on my doorstep and look up at the sky to find some semblance of sameness, something that I recognize to keep my thoughts from spinning off-world. But I don't recognize those constellations. They're not the same ones I would see sitting on the beaches on sticky summer nights in Cape Town. Even the stars are foreign to me now. Funnily enough, what holds me is the knowledge that the moon is the same moon that poets and writers and artists and you and everyone has looked at for centuries. It connects me to you, to my family, to my ancestors. I look up at the moon and feel hundreds of years of ancestors looking down at me and illuminating a path for me. I look up at the sky and into the past. Across time, across space, across universes, into the past. I see my great, great, great grandmother. I see the ship she was put onto, the journey she survived when others didn't. I taste the salt, feel the lurching of the water back and forth, back and forth. I smell shit and piss and dead bodies and ocean air. Oh, that fresh ocean air. My nose searches, yearns for that ocean air. The sound of gulls. A sea storm, cape of storms, cape of good hope. Good hope. Sun beating down against her skin out in the open on summer days. The hot air of the Berg wind blowing from the north, the white cloud that covers Table Mountain like a cloth, the devil's pipe smoke, they called it. The ocean air. The ocean air. I always come back to the ocean air. She places her forehead on the ground and asks Allah for guidance. On grain farms and wine farms, and in white men's houses, for the Dutch and the English, and the Dutch and the English. Her husband dies in their wars, and her children are taken from her because they have the white man's eyes and her nose, my sister's blue eyes, and her nose. I feel her children, their children, and their children, and their children, and my parents and me, my sister, my brother, we are all carried by her. What she lived for, what she died for. My mother places her forehead on the ground and asks Allah for guidance, hiding from the police, running away from the dogs, dodging bullets, writing articles and marching, and marching, and marching, always carried by the ocean air. She throws her pears in the ocean. My mother places her forehead on the ground and asks Allah for guidance. I place my forehead on the ground and ask Allah for guidance. That feels like home. It feels like a shield against the terrors of the world, a sword against anything that would chain me. When the whole world seems like it doesn't want me, or people who look like me, sound like me, act like me, pray like me, I know that I have built myself a home, built her a home. I know it's getting better. You may not realize it. You may not know it, but there's something moving forward. We are part of an incredible journey handed down from one to another, and we carry that in our bones. That's what we wear as our shield. That's what we carry as our sword. I feel it. I feel it in the ground beneath my feet. Something is shifting and moving. The echoes and vibrations of centuries past are moving upwards through the Earth's crust and beyond, out into the universe, out into the past, and back into the future. Everything our ancestors dreamed for us is coming towards us. Can you feel it? Tonight, if it's not too cold and not too rainy, go out onto your doorstep. Look up into the sky. Feel the universe. Feel your ancestors. Feel the future. Come up for air. At long last, come up for air. Ameera. Kiss.
Once I stop reading, I take a moment, refold the letter, and place it back into the envelope. I kiss the envelope and place it back down. Dear Tomorrow, Hope from Home. Written by Ameera Conrad. Performed by Ameet Chana. Music composed by Beldina Odeneo Onassis. Conceived and developed by Matthew Zia and Natalie Ibu. Commissioned by Northern Stage and Actors Touring Company. A Northern Stage and Actors Touring Company production.